open a business, anything.
Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get started because I am very late. I know they say better late than never, but I don't live by that. I prefer early, on time, or not at all. But anyway, Islam. We are here for 30 minutes, more or less. Peace and love to all the Moors. Happy Holy Day. I am Sister Tahida S. Najiola'el of CalifaMedia.com. mrcicharities.org and com, riseofthemoors.org and com, and certifiedmoorish.org and com. I know I'm probably leaving some stuff out, because like I like to say, I'm living my life. Not as in like being irresponsible, making a difference. I was just thinking about that today, right? How I was looking at my lifestyle. Like I live in the hood, right? Nobody bothers me. I don't hear gunshots or anything. I live in the Indiana hood, so how bad can it be, right? And I'm just like, I remember years ago thinking, or actually I think my father might have asked me I asked him, if everything was taken care of, what would you be doing, right? And I'm thinking like, wow, for the last 8 years, everything's been taken care of for me. It's really cool. I was just thinking about it today. And what have I been doing? Living my life. And what does that look like? I could just be like sitting on my phone all day, just, vegetating in front of a screen. But instead, I'm like, nope, I'm going to take this opportunity because I'm working. I'm working to earn it. I'm not getting anything for free. I am actually working and earning stuff, but it's just like, it is what it is. And I'm just like, so yeah, everything's pretty much taken care of. I can do whatever I pretty much want. And I'm being given the opportunity to build something, right? And I'm like, man, I could have done a whole lot of other stuff. I could have just I have a degree in education. I could have went to work for schools. Nope, that's not going to do nothing for the nation. I'm going to open a daycare. Nah, I don't feel like dealing with other people's children like that, right? I know. I'm going to scam folks. You'd be surprised how easy it is to scam people. I have to resist because people just hand stuff over. And I warn them. I try to warn them because I'm like, well, I guess nobody warns you, so don't do that kind of thing. But anyway, and that list that I gave at the opening of this presentation or this sharing was all the stuff that I've been doing with those 8 years. Califa Media, right? Even though that's older. I had that when I got here. Mercy Charities was the second thing. So if everything's taken care of, I'm going to take care of everybody else. I love it. I just noticed it today. Like, yeah, I could do that. I can live with that. So I'll just keep moving on with that. Anyway, let me get to okay. I don't know what's going on with my phone. Hopefully that's the last of it. Let me stick to my notes because, I always got my notes because why? I respect your time. So, all right. So today's sharing, and I'm not going to keep y'all too long because I'm already late. Today's sharing, I'm trying to give y'all an introduction. So, you know what to look forward to. And so maybe you can think about it. And, if you're on the live, you can offer some, have something to think about while I'm getting to it. So what I want to cover today, I like covering the news. I don't think I have what that have happened in China. I like covering the news just because it's like, let's see what Drew Ali said, watch the newspaper and listen to the radio, right? So I like covering the news. I'm into media, right? And let me see how that's something we might want to pay a little attention to because we can get out the way or take advantage or, like everybody else, opportunity, that kind of thing. I appreciate opportunities. I just don't like it when it's at other people's expense on their land. How about that? Put it like that. So today, what I would like to touch on and cover, the devil loves cruelty that he can repeat. All right. Uh, Everybody that's not supposed to be here is about to be broke. All right. Lead enemas for Jamaican repatriates. Let's see. Colonizer, and cleaning before you leave. Not you, Moors. I mean everybody else. All right. So before I get to that, couple of announcements real quick. Moorish Meetup NYC. That will be occurring in 3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks. 3 weeks. So you got time if you still want to get some like reasonably priced accommodations or transportation. We will be meeting up in New York City, Harlem, New York, and Newark, New Jersey this upcoming July 27th, July 25th, Friday, July 25th through Saturday, July 26th, right? There's a whole itinerary on riseofthemoors.org/NYC. All right, you can see everything, posters, or you can go to Califa Media's everything, wherever, Facebook. I think I have everything except Twitter or whatever they call it. And I barely have a, what's that thing? TikTok. But I'm everywhere else, right? So all the information is there, but the details and how to like get in touch, because I'm about to sign up for a tracker to put on my phone. So, because it's a meetup, right? It's not a convention where we're going to like meet in one spot and we all going to be there from the start to finish. No, it's not like that. It's a meetup. We'll be stopping at different spots that the prophet walked, right? It's pretty cool. And you can drop in or drop out at any point. And I will be hooking it up with a tracker, that will only follow me during this event. So if you like, oh, look, they right around the corner, you can, come say hi, come say hello, chill out, right? Enjoy the energy. So yeah, and again, that's at riseofthemoors.org/NYC. All right. And then certified Moorish updates. People have been asking me, thank you, Moors. Thank you, Moors, for your interest and your don't stop. If you think I'm talking about you, I am not talking about you individually, because this has presented itself as a collective thing. So thanks to the Moors who have taken advantage of or taken the opportunity to get their own thing set up. And boy, your timing is great, because like I said, everybody that's not supposed to be here about to be broke. And I'll be getting into that in a second. But anyway, so the Moors who have acquired the 508 Incorporated toolkit to set up their tax exempt, it does not have to be religious, right? It can even be for profit if you do it right. It's just tax. We're just saying tax exempt. Thank you to the Moor who I had a conversation with, who pointed out that distinction for me. Appreciate you. But anyway, so I have forthcoming the trust part of that, right? Because Moors have been asking about it. So, have heart. I am working on it, right? I'm glad I haven't filed anything. I have my stuff stamped, but I'm just like, I'm glad I haven't filed anything yet, because the slower I go, I know how I am. The slower I go, the better it's going to be for everybody. I like being paranoid, AKA heightened caution, right? Because I don't want to mess myself up, and I definitely don't want to mess anybody else up. And I am like finding stuff like right when I'm about to go file, it's like, hold up, right? For instance, right? I called it, I might have referred to this thing as, okay, so we have the 508 Incorporated, the corporation, right? So you can set up your company. So these people who are they're taxing, they're about to tax everybody to death. This is how you don't have to be part of it, right? And anybody who's doing it through the religious route as an auxiliary, you don't have to be a church. You can be somebody helping a church, right? Spreading the word is helping the church, yes or no? So, they're about to tax everybody to death. So as long as you're helping Allah, you don't have to be part of that. Anybody can use it. But as a Moor, we have special privileges we can exercise. It is so unbelievably cool. Like, hey, look at that abandoned lot. I just got to let the county know we'll be putting that into trust based on our indigenous rights. I need some people. So, it's a whole thing. That's why I haven't done it yet, because I'm like, yeah, I got to reword some stuff. And I'm going to show y'all how you can get it stamped on a certain day so you can have it show up how you want it to show up. but don't file it until you have it how you want it. I'm gonna stop right there. Anyway, so that's coming. It's turning into a whole thing. Like I'm setting up a trust for my son, right? And I am going to teach him how to manage this thing because it's for him. And it'd probably be a good thing that he knows if he knows how to run it. So, would you all like to follow along on that journey? That's what I'm about to do, right? And this is an ecclesiastic trust. I might have referred to it as a 508 trust because it kind of is and it's kind of not. And I'll get into that on the site because I don't have time to do it right here. Yeah, it's really cool. I'm glad I waited. And then also upcoming, because time does fly, school is about to start up again. So I will be making available the documents for homeschoolers, right? Or if you have something that you don't want your child to be a part of, that kind of thing. So there's already a book out about it. It's called Applied Solutions, Making the Case for Homeschooling as a Means of National Security, or something like that. It's a really cool name. I wrote it years ago, right? So that's there with everything that I will be offering probably for free, right? On site, like an a la carte thing. Like, hey, you could easily write this yourself, but that's why it's free. You can so easily, it's like, I just happen to have this. I'm just going to post it up there if you want it, that kind of thing. And then the book has like the details and it goes into what and why and all that stuff. But you have options. I love options. Limited options, right? Steak, chicken, or fish, even though I'm vegan or vegetarian, right? Steak, chicken, or fish. I don't need like hamburgers, hot dogs, steaks, chopped. Well, no. Or, me personally, I prefer rice. Just bring me some rice. So that'll be there. All right. 10 minutes in. All right. So now let's get to the news. Okay. So again, weekly news. Lots happened this week or since last Friday. First thing I want to cover. Trump's alligator Alcatraz, if you have not heard about this. All right, so the so-called alligator Alcatraz is part of a revived federal blueprint for harsh border control. Built deep in Florida's Everglades, this new detention center cages thousands of migrants in remote swamp conditions. I saw it. It's like I don't know what to call it, like a clearing, a really, really big clearing right in the middle of the Everglades. And I don't know if you know how to, I don't know why they call it swamps. There's like different birds. They got swamps, bogs. What is that other thing? It's a small, it's this thing that it's like, it's not a swamp because it moves really slow, but it moves. So it's not a swamp. The Everglades are nuts, right? So this clearing is right in the middle of that. All right. And they took some Native American land to do it. They just took it. They didn't ask. We'll have that, right? So built deep in Florida's Everglades, this new detention center cages thousands of migrants in remote swamp conditions, sending a clear message that the empire will isolate. I asked ChatGPT to summarize it for me. So it sends a clear message that the empire, I'm guessing they mean the United States empire, will isolate migrants in remote swamp conditions, sending a clear message that the empire will isolate and display those it sees as threats. Okay. Trump and DeSantis call it a symbol of strong borders, but history calls it something older. An open-air reminder of how Florida once used alligators to hunt and terrorize Moors. For Moorish Americans, this is not just a policy, it's an echo of colonial violence. If they once fed our babies to beasts for sport, today they feed our people to cages as a warning, right? Locking folks up. But I just read something earlier today that said the prison population is going down. And some people said it's because of how many states decriminalized marijuana. I'm like, you really think that they had like 1 in 4 Moors up in there because of weed? Really? But they saying that's why it went down. I'm supposing that they making room for somebody else. And because these people don't technically because the whole thing is arbitrary. They don't technically have any rights in this country because you're in the country illegally. Mississippi, for example, is saying, well, I think I might have mentioned this before. You're here illegally, so I don't have to give you the due process that a citizen will get, but I will give you due process. In this case, that takes the form of, I caught you. Now you can take the space of that nigga who ain't causing no problems because we're done, right? They saying that's another reason that the prisons are emptying out, because we're not showing up for stuff to get arrested, all right? So we got a spot for you. And ICE, and I'm about to get to them in a second. Wow. ICE has, I think I said it, 48 hours to Mississippi. ICE has 48 hours to come get you, right? After we notify them. I hope it's not, oh, we got you. They got 48 hours. And then, they sent the notice at hour, I don't know, 30, that kind of thing. I don't know. They just say they got 48 hours to come get you. And if they don't come get you, since you have, that's due process. We give them 2 days to say something, to come get you, not to say, hold on to them, we on our way. They have to come and take you out of jail. If they don't, we get to keep you indefinitely. It's Mississippi. What do you think indefinitely means to these people? Moving on. So Florida got their version. Mississippi already passed this in January. Anyway, so number 2, or next, Trump's big, beautiful bill, or as I said, everybody except the folks who's supposed to be here about to be broke, especially if you're removing yourself from this via God, right? I'm going to get back to this as soon as possible. I had a conversation with a brother, amazing conversation. I asked him at the beginning of the conversation, so what's up? What you need? He was like, I'm not really clear on the notice of the 508, right? I'm like, yeah, it's just a notice. You're not asking them permission for anything. And I noticed that he just stopped. He just paused. And I'm like, wow, I can see your wheels turning. It's kind of cool. Very entertaining, right? And we continued on with our conversation. And at the end of it, I'm like, doing customer service, like, okay, great conversation. I know I enjoyed it. I hope you got what you came for, right? Did you have any other question? He was like, actually, you kind of answered everything at the beginning, because I just couldn't believe it was just, I might have it wrong, but the way I heard it was, I couldn't believe it was just a notice that all we got to do is say it once. That's the difference. 501c3. I have to report in to you every year and show you what I've been up to. This 508c1a, based on how I'm set up and what I'm doing, you can't look at my records. Goodbye forever. Unless I'm setting up another company, that kind of thing. Otherwise, I'm not reporting nothing. It's none of your business. That's how they get, that's the plausible deniability for the unconstitutional 501c3, because this works the same way. If you're willing to fill out a little extra paperwork, you can have your donations deducted too. You don't have to be a 501c3, right? It's a lot easier. It's a lot smoother, especially if you're dealing with private parties. But if you just explain it to people, come to them in an intelligent tone, I'll give you a way that I do it, right? I had an elder tell me, he was like, it's just crazy how you say it like it's just you. You're not talking about something over there. You're talking about something in you. Yeah, I know it like that. I'm that confident in it that you're confident that I'm confident in it. But you got to study to do that. It's like, it's not a trick. You actually got to know what you're doing. And, it's like being fit. You can't fake fit, can you? All right. If you can, let me know, because it's a lot of work otherwise, right? But since you can't fake it, that makes it more valuable and more appreciated by those who don't have it. Anyway, so Trump's big, beautiful bill. Everybody got to be broke. So this sweeping new law revives Trump-era tax cuts for the wealthy while gutting healthcare, food aid, and environmental safeguards. It ramps up spending on walls, detention, and defense, putting billions more into enforcement and punishment, pouring more money. Wait, this didn't cut it off. Pour more money? Okay, so it cut it off. Yeah. And that's why I was late. It's like, yeah, it's what's that called? Mercury shadow. Wow. This gonna be a trip then. Okay, anyway. So I'll just pull it up on my screen. Cause this was getting good, huh? I'm gonna start it over when I find it.
Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe so that this message may be spread widely to assist in our mission to normalize Moorish.
All right. All right, cool. So yeah, back to Trump's big beautiful bill. Where's my mouse? Oh, okay. Trump's big beautiful bill. Okay, so this news starting again. This sweeping new law revives Trump era tax cuts for the wealthy while gutting health care, food aid, and environmental safeguards. It ramps up spending on walls, detention, and defense, putting billions more into enforcement and punishment, pouring more money into ICE alone. Wow. Pouring more money into ICE alone, just that department, right? ICE has now been funded, more money has been given to ICE than Russia spends on its entire army. Russia. You know how the United States steals the plans for Russia's weapons? That Russia, the one they're really good at military too. Just this one department has been funded with more money because of this bill than Russia spends on this army. Okay? ICE. ICE. All right. So, passed under the flag of freedom and prosperity, it exposes the empire's hypocrisy. This thing keeps calling it an empire. Always funds for wars and billionaires, but none for reparations owed to wars. Well, that's kind of our fault, because once you recognize your part in it, you got some power to fix it, right? So, for Moorish Americans, this proves once more that the empire uses policy to drain the poor and feed the powerful, just like Rome. And what happened to them? Persia and Egypt too, huh? While they build more prisons and fewer clinics, we must ask, what structures do we build that feed and protect our own? What is our economic blueprint for freedom? Okay, you know what? That's a good question. I'm not worried about what everybody else is doing. What are we doing for ourselves? Start a business. That's a great start, right? If you can find it, because it's one of those Mandela Effect movies. If you can find it, Sinbad the Sailor anime. All right. It talks about how Sinbad went around the world setting up businesses. He was a sailor, right? Setting up businesses. And eventually he had enough connections and enough funds to feed people to protect said funds. And he was able to get a piece of land and establish a nation. Actually, I think his land had gotten invaded. So he went out as a sailor and he basically he built a network, right? And got all those people to agree to do business with something he hadn't even set up yet. He just knew he was from that land. And he's like, well, by the time I get back, I bet you I'm gonna have enough to get it back. So he was able to set up, basically take his nation back through business. It's amazing. If you can find it, it's I think it's like 3 of them. The second one was fire because it goes into detail about, oh boy, if you can find it, right? It's one of those animes. Anyway, if I find it, I'll bootleg it for y'all. Anyway, so that's Trump. All right. Oh, number 3. Where am I? Let me look at how much time I'm on here. Where am I? What is this? Okay, good. We're going to get through this. Number 3. All right, I just like this news thing because it's like a lot going on that Moors need to be paying attention to. So, number 3, come home. Come to Jamaica, repatriate edition, or lead enemas for Jamaican repatriates. Lead enemas, huh? Okay, so if you haven't heard, Jamaica's leadership has spoken firmly due to its diaspora. Return home in peace. Wait, let me start over. Jamaica's leadership has spoken firmly to its diaspora. Return home in peace or face the law. This warning came because waves of deportees, some with criminal histories, were seen bringing back unrest. It's presumed, thanks to Trump's policies, All right, this statement was released before that bill was signed, increasing ISIS budget or their funding. So their prime minister or whatever they call him over there, he was like, what did he say? It was you should look up his statement. He basically, let me see if this thing got it up in there. Let's see. It says, it's presumed thanks to Trump's policies, this will increase bringing back more unrest if left unchecked. Jamaica says the homeland is open to those who want to build and heal, but closed to those who abandon one broken home only to break another. Okay? This dude, he said, either act right. You look it up. He said it. I think I'm quoting. Act right, or you will meet a judge or your maker. He's threatening to kill his own people if they come back acting up. Right? Because you got to think about it. Why are you assuming that these deportees are coming back acting up? Right? The only people Britain ain't deporting. There's a ton of Jamaicans in England. They're not deporting it. Not talking about them. I don't know where else, Japan. There's a ton of Jamaicans in Japan for some reason. That's really weird, but there are. They're not deporting Jamaicans. Only one I think of that's deporting Jamaicans is the United States. Why do you think that they will be criminals? Is it because you know that's the only people that come over here is people who come over here to steal? You own stolen land for opportunity. What do you call it? That's receipt of stolen goods, yes or no? You can call it what you want, but that's what it is. All right. Anyway, so yeah, for Moors, this is a hard mirror. Our ancestors never fled in mass, right? They held the line, fought back, and rebuilt when empires fell on them. Running only repeats the wound. Real repatriation is not escape. It is repair, restoration, and standing firm on the land you claim. So proud of your country, go back, right? Why you here if you're so proud? If you bring the empire's chaos with you, you fail your own standard. So we must ask, will we fix home or run from it? Everybody needs to be asking that. Actually, no, we're the only ones that don't need to ask that. Will we fix home or run from it? Who here hasn't run away from home? Put a hand up if that includes you, right? And that includes the wars on the islands, North, South, Central America, and the adjoining islands. You can put a hand up, Islam, But happy holiday to all, especially if you come in peace, that kind of thing. So let's see what's the next one. New America. Oh boy. New America, a new America brought to you by a South African Canadian. Should I repeat that for you? Listen carefully. New America brought to you by a South African Canadian. All right? If you're not familiar with how Elon Musk got into the United States, okay? His mother was a model from Canada. He was born in South Africa. So, all the colonies, they got birthright citizenship, right? So he's born in South Africa. Check, got that citizenship. My mom's from Canada. I got hers. Check. Let me go on over there and slip across the border because I look like an all-American boy. Anyway, I can slip across the border because I look like the people who are controlling the border. Technically, his brother even said it. He got here illegally, right? So he's a South African Canadian who's trying to change America. Anyway, Elon Musk, the billionaire tech mogul, is floating plans for a so-called America Party, claiming it will challenge Trump's grip. But let's call it what it is. A triple colonist, born in South Africa, raised in Canada, and now a U.S. citizen, believes he has the right to shape politics on land that was stolen from our people. The two-party machine may swallow this stunt, but the insult remains. Yeah, it's pretty foul. It's pretty messed up. So it's like, wow. Just take it all, right? Just take it all. Wow, yeah, that's a trip. So for Moorish Americans, this is our sign to wake up. If a foreign-born billionaire, so what, you got money? And it's fake. It's all paper. It's fake, right? If a foreign-born billionaire can gather millions to play kingmaker, what's stopping us from building our own circles of power? This disrespect should fuel us to create business networks, local alliances, and even our own party rooted in sovereign claim. Didn't Drew Ali do that? Real sovereignty doesn't wait on permission. It demands action and unity. The The question is simple. Will we keep watching or will we stand up and build? I think Moore's on a good, they on a, I see progress. I don't know what everybody else sees. I see progress, but maybe I'm looking for it. That kind of thing. So last one. So DOJ. Oh boy. What did I call this one? What did I call this one? Oh, cleaning up before you leave. Okay. DOJ is moving to denaturalize. So DOJ's denaturalization drive. Have you heard about this? The Department of Justice's memo expands the power to strip citizenship from immigrants accused of crimes, fraud, and being security risks. Let me go back to the big, beautiful bill, right? A lot of people freaking out. Oh, no, all these people about to get kicked off of health care. The part they're leaving out is all the people that Biden, they're kicking all the people Biden put on health care while he was in. Who was that? Anyway, because not everybody's supposed to have it. You can't even prove who you are. So they're like, oh, 10 million people. Wow, didn't they say 10 million people, 10 million illegals came in while he was president? Wonder if that could have, some kind of correlation. Anyway, so now he's like, okay, first, it's good to be in a position to laugh. It's like, what part of this is going to mess me up? I can see some stuff that'll like maybe inconvenience me, but I don't stand the risk of like losing my home, being put on a boat, that kind of thing. It's wild, right? Wow. Is this what it feels like not to be prey? Now you are as prey. Anyway, so he's moving now to expand power to strip citizenship from immigrants. So the first the illegals, and now, you are documented, but you weren't born here. You're next. You see how he's it's just diabolical. First the illegals, then the legals, then the ones that came over who will tell you they're proud immigrants, and then them. Anyway. So this stretches the wartime rules. So this is what he's using. This stretches the old wartime tools like the 1940 Nationality Act and denaturalization provisions once used against so-called enemy aliens. Well, you are over here stealing. Into a modern weapon that says your naturalization can be undone if you fail the empire's loyalty test. Like waving your own flag. Just like wartime sedition acts once erased status overnight. I remember that, right? That's why I say Trump is a convicted criminal, right? I don't know how much actual, like the whatever he was convicted for. Lincoln was way worse than Trump. That dude was way worse than Trump. I think he compares himself to Lincoln because he strives to be that big of a criminal. All right, that dude was like violating the Constitution left, right, and center. And it led to a civil war. Anyway, he was violating the Constitution, a Republican violating the Constitution left, right, and center, and it led to a civil war. And Uranus is in the same spot now as it was when that started. And when the Revolutionary War started. Anyway, so for Moorish Americans, this shows how thin the paper wall is between... Wow. This shows how thin the paper wall is between status and subjection. If citizenship is treated as revocable, as a revocable license, what does true nationality demand from us now? I say sit still and relax. Drink some water and breathe deep. Is our Moorish birthright protected by their courts or by our own declarations, lawful trusts, and binding unity? I remember American Scrolls brought that up in a book about Moorish unity, or the Moors that she saw in Spain. And I went and got that book. But she was talking about how the book was going into how the Spaniards admired the Moors because of their unbreakable unity. That's how they were able to hold their land for almost 800 years. Anyway, if they revive, well, okay. Anyway, so I think that's it. I was going to get into it, but I think that's enough. All right. Visit CalifaMedia.com, check out the Moorish meetup. I would love to see, I'll be there, right? Again, this this upcoming Friday, July 27th or 25th. I don't know why I keep saying 27th. I might have to stay an extra day because I keep saying that. Anyway, Friday, July 25th through Saturday, July 26th. There's a whole itinerary. And I think the last part I have to look into is where do we eat? That's always the best part, right? I might have to go look that up tonight because I've been stumbling on some like winners. Except for no diss to Alhambra Palace in Chicago. Love the layout. Love the ambiance. The food. Yeah, y'all have a good night. I'll see y'all this time next week. And check it out on riseofthemorris.org. You can look on /meetup where you see all the stuff that we've been doing, and there's upcoming because there's some other stuff already in the works. And riseofthemorris.org/NYC for all the details on the meetup in New York, Harlem, New York, and Newark, New Jersey at the end of this month. Other than that, y'all have a peaceful evening, and I will check y'all out next week. All right. Peace and love, and bye-bye, y'all. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate that. Peace.